The long-awaited, highly anticipated Sopranos movie, The Many Saints of Newark, has dropped. Was it good? Did it live up to the hype? I will say this, it did give two, and I will say two. It did clear up two things for everybody who was a Sopranos fan. But we'll get into all that right after this. What up to all my thugs, nerds, freaks, and geeks? You're now rocking with the best of Don, Tony, Teflon. And if you can, please subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. The Sopranos, one of my favorite shows when it came out. You know, it was my favorite show at the time when it did drop. Really changed TV. I used to watch Law & Order all the time, but when I watched Sopranos, I could never watch Law & Order again because this was real TV. It was real life. And that's what I got from this. It made me think that TV could be this gritty, TV could be this good, it could be this realistic. And that's what I loved about The Sopranos. Now, did this movie capture that? That's what a Sopranos fan is looking for. You're looking for something to make you think of The Sopranos, but also bring back your feelings of when you first watched The Sopranos, like I just laid out my feelings. And unfortunately, I have to give my honest review that this movie did none of those things. I did not like this movie. Not even in certain parts did I like this movie. I thought that this movie was a total disaster when it came down to it. And I'll explain to you exactly why. First up, I know they had to try to figure out how to do the movie, so they decided to use Dickie Moltisanti, Christopher's father, and tell it through basically his life and how Tony was when he was little and everything else. Now, I don't care about Dickie, and Dickie never made me want to care about him. That was the thing about Tony Sopranos. Though he was a bad guy and did terrible things, you also cared about him. That's what made the show a hit, that you would care so much about such a bad person. They failed to capture that 100%. They did not do that in this movie. I did not care about any of these characters. Not one of them did I say, oh, I'm happy to see that person. Young Carmela, terrible. All of these young people, and I'm going to have to say this, and I don't mean any disrespect, but mostly all of the actors playing younger versions of the characters that we seen in the Sopranos show did horrible jobs. I did not like their interpretation because they tried to play them exactly one-on-one like we seen the characters then. Like these people didn't change over the years. They act exactly the same. They had the guys with the same exact hairstyle that they had in the Sopranos all the way back then. People's hairstyles changed. The guy, I forgot his name right now, who played Silvio? That was one of the worst interpretations of a character I've ever seen. Was it as bad as Carlito Way 2? I would say it was very close, if not just as bad. It was terrible. They had the exact same hairstyle. He tried to do the same thing with his lips and everything else, and it just fell flat. It looked like you were doing an impression of that guy instead of actually playing the character. And a poor impression of that. Now, the woman who played Tony's mother, I thought that as it got on, when she got older, she played it better than when she did when she was younger. When she was younger, I thought she was playing Carmela when I first seen her. That's what it seemed like to me. She was Carmela. Now, maybe that's what they wanted to go through and say, hey, Tony married someone that acted just like his mother. Maybe that's what they wanted. But when she got older, I thought she did a better job portraying that character. See, what they tried to do in this movie, and we could just look at the character of Junior, who the guy did a decent job. Not going to say anything bad, but you know, you have him say these memorable lines that we hear them say in The Sopranos and think that that's good enough to sell you that this is this character. You know, and it's not, and it doesn't work. And I will say that the number one thing about The Sopranos that made it a hit to me was it was a comedy. Not one of these jokes in this movie worked. All the jokes did not land. Not one joke landed. So when I look at it, I wish they would have did a much better job. I'm trying to be as nice as I can, in all honesty, about this movie because I truly wanted to like it. But in all honesty, it was just a waste of time of my life, and I will never get those hour or so minutes back. It was predictable from the jump. As soon as you seen this dude's father bring home this wife, you knew that was gonna come in between him and his father. You knew that was gonna happen. You knew she was gonna become his guma, and you knew eventually he was going to kill her. You could seen that coming a mile away. I mean, Stevie Wonder seen that. He did. He told me personally that he seen that. And they tried to pull, be cute in the movie. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, so if you didn't think Tony Soprano died from the TV series, they confirmed that he did die by the actor saying that, oh, I don't like people walking up behind me. So we know exactly what happened to Tony when he died from that shot, that he got shot in the back, and that's how he was killed. They also had, when they had baby Christopher there and Tony was trying to, play with him, the baby started crying and everything else, like, oh, this baby knew that later on in life Tony would eventually kill him too. Were those good moments? No, not really to me, but I understand why they put them in. But again, they just weren't executed properly, and that's the problem that I have with this situation. The things just were not executed the way I felt they should have been. I don't want to bash this movie, but I sit here and I struggle to try to find something good to say about this movie. I know that this was James Gandolfini's son playing him when he was they had two versions of Tony when he was younger, and then they had him when he was a little bit older. And he played him when he was a little bit older. God bless James Gandolfini, a tremendous actor, but his son just doesn't have the chops. And it's not his fault, but he just doesn't have the chops. Michael Jordan's son can't play basketball. It's just not there. He's not developed enough as an actor to have pulled this off. I mean, stealing the ice cream truck, the Mr. Softy truck, and giving free ice cream out to the kids. It's cute. It's cute, but that's not the Tony that I know. That's not the Tony that I wanted to see. And I would say this about all the characters that we see here. It was just, these guys were just playing cheap versions of these characters. And if you ever watch Carlito's Way Part 2, this was exactly what that was. Go watch that movie and you'll see that the guy just tried to play Al Pacino and couldn't pull it off, Instead of making the character his own, he decided to try to mimic him and didn't do a good job. And I think that's what happened with all these actors. They tried to mimic these people and none of them got it right. None of them. I can't say one of them made me feel like I was watching a younger version of the character from the Sopranos TV show. I really wish they didn't put it out. I wish they would have just really rethought this and did something better. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. Did you like the movie? And if you did, please tell me why, because I can't find the reason. Maybe you can convince me why I should have liked it. Because in all honesty, I have no reason. I can't think of not one reason that I thought that was good about this. I mean, Frank Lucas was terrible. They put him in the same exact jacket that he had on when he got busted, and people found out who he was when he went to the fight. He didn't just wear that jacket all the time. They had him in that jacket like it was just terrible. It was a terrible thing, I listen. That lady, Dickie's Guma, beautiful woman. Oh my God, I would say that was the best thing about it, was just looking at her. She was gorgeous. She reminded me of Penelope Cruz. It wasn't Penelope Cruz. She looked like Penelope Cruz. Maybe it was. Oh, gorgeous woman. Love to see her. That's probably the best thing I could say about it, was just having the opportunity to look at that woman. But again, you tell me in the comment section, did you like the movie? Didn't you like the movie? If you did, please explain to me exactly why you liked it, because I can't, for the love of God, I can't see why I would. And again, don't take this as a diss, but I'm going to have to give this thing a 3.5 out of 10. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and subscribe. Until next time, you know who it is. Peace, stay sexy.